Hello there. Hi. For today's video, I'm going to teach you guys something that I get requested a lot. It's probably my most requested thing actually. And that is to teach you how to mix skin tones. Before we get more into this, Skillshare reached out to me and they were really happy with how my last campaign went, and so they've asked me to do another one. So this video is sponsored by Skillshare. For me, I use it for both personal growth and some business practices. Basically, Skillshare is an online video site that hosts a plethora of classes and courses and tutorials. There's like lots of different categories. And it's a platform that I genuinely do love. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't be sharing it with you guys. I've been looking at the top classes for fine art recently, mainly because I'm focusing on how to work with watercolors. I'm working hard on developing a children's book series, and the medium for the illustrations I'd like to use is watercolors because they just look really appealing. So classes like this one that give handy tips on what tools to use is very helpful. These I can use as like background details to go alongside my characters. It's just quite handy, to be honest. It's just really handy. Skillshare has over 7 million creators on the site and over 25,000 classes to choose from. A 2-month free trial with unlimited access is available to those who click the link in the description. After that, it's about $10 a month and you can adjust your membership at any time. Good. Now, back to how to mix skin tones. I am excited. I'm really excited to teach you how to mix paint because this is just a topic that's interesting to me. As you know, skin tones vary so much. There's also going to be a lot of variables. Is it going to be a nice sunny day? Is it going to be a cloudy day? Are they going to be partially in the shade? Is it going to be nighttime? Is it going to be dark out? Are they holding a candle? Is there any other form of light going on their face? Basically, what I'm trying to get at here is there's no clear one answer to how to get a skin tone. That being said, I can give you some helpful tips, hopefully. But before we start mixing skin tones, it's good to have an understanding of how paint and mixing works. In school, you learn the basics of color mixing. So red and yellow make orange, yellow and blue make green, and blue and red make purple. But when it comes to paint, the main thing you want to worry about is the vibrancy. Vibrancy is one of the reasons why I go ahead and buy pre-mixed versions of green, orange, and purple. Let's go ahead and put some of the paints on the palette and get mixing and show you what I'm talking about here. I'm putting the main colors of the rainbow in the smaller sections of the palette. And the neon pink, yellow, and electric blue in the corner over here. Going with a brush that does have a flat edge, we're going to start mixing some colors. To start out, I'm going to show you about vibrancy. So I'm going to take a little bit of our blue, dab it on the plate, and a little bit of red and dab it on the plate. As you can see, the red is very vibrant and the blue is very deep and royal. Now let's mix them together. And as you can see, the purple it made is kind of dark, isn't it? It's not the brightest purple you might want. Let's try to add a bit more blue. And no, it's still dark. It's purple, but it's a muddy purple. Going to the pre-mixed purple now, you can already see the difference. It's more vibrant, bright, not paler like adding white would do to it. It just has a richer tone. Let's try mixing a neon pink and the electric blue. Already, you can see the bright purple color coming through. This is even more vibrant than the pre-mixed purple I have. So having to think outside of the box here, and to try to match that pre-mixed shade, I'm going to use my neons. Take a dab of the neon pink and the normal royal blue, mix them together, and there you'll have it. The lesson here is to know what makes your paints mix to be more vibrant. So essentially these are all shades of purple, and they're all very different already. I should probably clarify, the paint I'm using today is cheaper acrylic paint. It does have a high viscosity. As you can see, the paint is holding its shape. Now to tackle skin tones. The thing with skin tone is it literally can contain every single color on your palette. Starting with the lighter tones, I'm going to add a couple of dabs of white paint to my palette, and we're going to add the tiniest dash of yellow, mix it in, and then we're going to add a little bit of red. And red is very overpowering. Always start with less red and then add more later. We're going to finish this out with a dash of green, and when I say dash, I do mean dash. And there we have a basic pale skin tone. On the other side, we're going to make it a little bit darker. This time I'm adding a little bit more yellow than before, a bit more red, and some purple. Right now this is a muted pale tone, one with some gray undertones, but we do want to make it darker, so I'm going to add a dash more red and a portion of yellow. The secret to mixing is mixing in small amounts and adding more when necessary. So we have two different skin tones now, one that is a pale ivory and one that is a rosy pale color. Now to move on to the next batch and up these gradients again. A dot of white, a chunk of yellow, a dash of red, a dash of purple, and a bit of green. Mix these together. We're close to the base tone of the last one now, so to darken it, I'm going to add more yellow, red, and green. And now we have a natural tone. Very similar to that one, just the next stage up. Then we're going for a richer tone now. Again, a dab of white to start, big chunk of yellow, good amount of red, purple, and green. Mix these all together. Add a bit of blue, and I think I'm going to finish this off with a bit more yellow. Here are the skin tones so far. Another good way to look at skin tones is to look at makeup, because that's actually what foundation is. It's trying to match the skin tones of everyone. It's really hard to get the colors right, and it's surprising sometimes what skin tone you actually are. Using my hand as an example, you might think that this would be my skin tone, this one over here. Let's put that on my skin, and look how pale that is. It's really pale. However, this darker one, all of a sudden, it doesn't look as dark. Just using that for reference. Now, on to the next tones. This time use a smaller dash of white, bigger amount of yellow, orange, mix them together, mix in some red and green, more yellow, getting all those undertones going, and to darken it, I'm going to add red, yellow, and blue to finish it off. The next one, I'm going to start with a base of the color I just mixed rather than white. Add purple, add in yellow, add in green, and we get this nice rich tone. The second to last one, the base is going to be purple with a dash of red, and finish off with a bit more yellow. Then the final one, I'm using the last color as a small base, adding red and blue, mix, and that's it. And something to keep in mind is that these would be the medium skin tones of the painting. The base color that you start with, that you'll add white or darker tones to bring the gradient up or down for the highlights and lowlights. Now let's paint these on a plate and line them up, see them side by side. And here we have an array of different skin tones. Now to test these out, rather than trying to pick a person to fit one of these tones, I'm going to use a subject that fits all of these tones. I'm going to paint a giraffe, because a giraffe actually has all the skin tones of a person. So to keep this video person neutral, we're going with the giraffe. So let's try this out. how you use human skin tones to paint a giraffe. Yay! Sometimes painting a person can be quite intimidating, so if you do want to practice skin tones, I do recommend painting a giraffe. So you can just focus on just mixing the colors and not worry about blending them, putting them together right, getting structure right. You're just painting a giraffe. And that was just a big twisted way to justify not painting a self-portrait. Absolutely. I did I did not want to paint myself today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and a thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring. Skillshare is again something that I do really like, and if you'd like a free trial, there are details in the description about that. So please do check it out. It helps me out. This is my comment giveaway pin, so if you'd like a chance to win, all you have to do is leave a nice comment down below, and I will pick a winner next week. I'm gonna be sad when this one goes, but I'm excited for the next one.